Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and good afternoon from the west side of Scotland. It's getting cooler and cooler and cooler, and it's still sunny though. Still really sunny. And like I will always say, peace be unto you. And it's another exciting episode of one of your favorite programs on Jambo Radio, 3,000 miles, where immigrations get to rub minds, get to talk, and get to really bear their hearts out and say what they feel. And this is the program for you. And we have an exciting guest today and an exciting topic today, but I'm here, not here alone. I'm still with my co-host, my man Dimeji. Dimeji, say hi to the people out there.
Yeah, hello, good afternoon. This is Dimeji. Just like Kevwe have said, you giving a shout out from the west side of Scotland. I'm giving a shout out from Belfast. So yeah, yeah.
That's good. That's good. So today we're going to be discussing a very very pertinent topic. It's actually relevant to not just immigrants, but to all residents of not just Scotland alone, but the UK as a whole. The topic we're going to be looking at today is the deja vu of inflation and the cost of living for immigrants. And because lately they've been high cost of living, rents are going up, the gas bill is going up, the light bill is going up, everything is going up, even the food, cost of food, the cost of living is just skyrocketing, going over the roof. And I see a lot of people who are British, the traditional British people, they are lamenting and complaining and crying. But for immigrants, it's just a feeling of what we're used to. Unfortunately. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
that's what we're used to, unfortunately. So we have a guest in the house who someone who's experienced both worlds. He's experienced the best of both worlds, so he's an authority, I would say. Ladies and gentlemen, we have AJ in the house. AJ, say hi.
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm sure you're enjoying the show already. It's good to hear.
So, going through my Instagram a few days ago, I saw a lot of comments, there was a particular post that caught my eye from a particular guy, Governor's cousin, and he received a lot of backlash from that post, where he made a post about how it is in the UK, how things are not too easy the way we feel they are, and a lot of people were really back. There was a lot of backlash. AJ, I know you were one of the front runners of that post.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, when I saw the post at first, I was like, wow, reality check. For most immigrants, we always have this picture of the UK and the US and Canada. We just see it as a land of opportunity for a lot of people. It's a dream come true. But in reality, there is more to it. Yes, there's a lot of opportunities here. I mean, there are jobs, there are a lot of great things, but there is behind the beautiful scenes, there's a real life. So, in relating to that post, when I saw it, definitely if you are here, if you're in the UK, and you try to communicate with people and you try to tell them that life in the UK is real. You always get this sort of lashback, like people are telling you stuff that if the UK is not easy, come back home. If you think the UK it's not going as it should be, come back home and stuff like that. But they tend to forget the message you are trying to communicate to them, which is there is a lot of reality check here, because we are coming from a country where the system does not work as it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And now you come over here, you are having a system that works, because you have to work for everything. And so beneath the pictures, beneath the beautiful environment you see, if you are not ready mentally, you come here and it really comes as a shock. So that's just the basics of reality check for immigrants.
Yeah. That's really correct, I must say, because a lot of people see abroad as heaven.
Yeah.
That's just the truth. When you come abroad, you've gone to heaven. But things are now there's now that feeling of more, it's not the way it should be. Because they say when you not chop soup, they know how it be. Until you test them, you're going to say you get salt or get pepper. Because right now, with the whole system now, Dimeji, with everything going on now, rent is going up. One week, your landlord just sends you a message and tell you by next month I will be increasing your rent. How do you feel? Have you had that feeling in Nigeria before now?
Yeah, I think Nigerian situation compared to this place, I have to be honest, is that um, it's quite still okay, yeah, when we compare the fact that okay, you could still get something to do. Nigerian system of government is not, just like Aja said, is not working as it is expected to work. Will not engage our youth. And being a youth, there's an expression of energy that naturally seeks expression. You can't just curtail it. So it's either you channel that to positive arena or to negative arena, but that energy will seek expression. So just couple of few minutes ago, I was speaking with a friend. So we diverge into the cost of living in the UK. So the average cost of living of a single person in the UK now per month is £2,005. And we all know that to find out £2,005 means your sweat and blood. And recently, the British pound just is performing
The pound is the
performing
pound the
Russian
pound is
yen,
going. The pound is
and
taking a
all
hit.
these
It's taking a hit just
yeah.
now.
So
Yeah.
all these things now have yeah, all these things are now playing to the fact that the life expectation of what people are used to in the UK, even in the US, is going to meet some kind of tough some tough life. So you can see the Ukrainian Russian war is something that no one ever planned for. But you could
Yeah.
imagine immigrants in the Ukraine and immigrants in Russia at this moment right now. And these are those things that we keep playing, and we need to tell our people the truth. And the truth is, it rains everywhere. I always tell people it rains everywhere. If you don't have this orientation, like we are discussing right now, you are going to move from fire pan to fire. You have to relate with the truth, the facts and figures. This is not where you just build some Disneyland in your head and feel, oh, you are going to a paradise. Reality check here is going to check you so fast. In fact, you are in a land where your the cultural orientation is different from Nigeria, where you could still go and meet people and say you are hungry, neighbor, give me Gary. Here, it doesn't work that way. It's either you stand or you fall.
Your neighbor does not even have Gary to give you.
You understand? It's either you stand or you fall. And things are getting so tight. It's getting so tight these days that the economy is not friendly. Cost of living is on the high. So it's more like if you don't prepare for all these things, you are moving from fire pan to
But
fire.
let me hit you here, Dimeji. Let me hit you here because the thing is, I was speaking with yesterday. I was at work. I was having a conversation with two Scottish citizens, and the lady was pretty advanced, and she was lamenting and talking about the fact that how the cost of living has so gone up that even getting a mortgage now is really hard because she was talking back then they had to pay 5% down payments of mortgages and spread the payments over a long. Say, but right now, the other guy was talking about somebody who just got a house recently of about £135, £135,000, and was asked to pay 40,000 deposit, which is way more than the 5%. And she was lamenting about the whole situation. To me, that wasn't new. To be honest with you, I could relate. But for them, it was something that was really, it's strange because something they've not experienced before is strange. But to me, it wasn't really, it was something that it was relatable to me. So then I flashed back to one day me and AJ were talking, and he said about how rent has gone up in Nigeria. So I want to ask you, I want to just throw this. Do you have that feeling of pressure? Because a lot of British people right now are so pressured right now. Do you have that feeling of pressure with this high cost of living? Do you think you feel that way?
Well,
You
truth
feel
be told,
pressured?
there is pressure, and there's also comparison happening between every average immigrant, just like myself. Yes, I can feel the pressure in the atmosphere because you go to work, your work demands you to work 12 hours. I mean, 12 hours. People think 12 hours is not long until you get into the playing field and you understand that it is your sweat and blood and you're going to work every minute, every second of that 12 hours till it ends. You'll be praying that it ends. And that 12 hours can turn to 12 years before your eyes if you're not careful. So you work 12 hours, you pick more shift because the more you work, the more you earn. So you know what it means. Your life, your social life is going down. Can't you see an average person living in the UK doesn't have a social life like that? That's why people just try to buy drink and get themselves drunk and just escape into that atmosphere. That's one. Two, I said comparison. Yeah, it's not good to compare to devil, to compare hell to lake of fire, because we're coming from hell. You understand? So what immigrants do is, yes, if I can survive Nigeria, and those are not good things to relate with sometimes. Yes, it's good to toughen up, it's good to man up in situation. But look at the human nature, look at what we have designed as human beings with ourselves. Life is not meant to be so difficult like that. And these are where the leaders need to come in and try to help the economic resuscitate before it turns to a total chaos or sabotage. Now, I can relate because I'm coming from Nigeria, and that statement means a lot. And I'm very sure you can relate as well. K, you can relate. AJ, you
Yeah,
can
so
relate.
I can
These are our
Sure,
relate.
friends.
sure, sure.
So it's just like, oh, once I think about Lagos, I think about Oshodi. I just pick up my back, I pick up myself and say, oh, more. And the truth is, each time you dream about home, you can't go back home. All of us have burned the bridges. We burned the bridges. There's nowhere to go back. So we are just more like, your problem is our problem. Your economy is our economy. Your
We we die here.
AJ, what do you think? Throw your weight to it. What do you think?
Well, the thing is, it's actually relatable to every Nigerian because, when you come here and you start making certain amounts of money, like what Dimeji rightly said, you work 12-hour shifts and you're like, if I do 4 shifts, man, this is what I'm taking home. What if I do six shifts in a week, or let me just do 7 shifts in a week?
Or 8/7.
The truth is, I know people that are willing to do 10 over 7 if it's possible.
some
Yeah,
people do 24 hours.
yep, yeah. No, it's not a joke because I've seen a lot of guys that they just finished from one night shift and they're rushing
They're
off
going
to
to
a
a
day
day
shift,
shift.
all because of, first of all, the conversion rate. When you convert the pounds to that's the first problem. When you convert the pounds to naira, you'll be like, man, in naira, this is what I earn. So, humanly speaking, you're like, okay, if I do this for a particular number of time, I will be able to gather this certain amount of money. But the reality is, we don't need to put ourselves through that hassle. When you hear the Scottish people complaining about inflation, you as a Nigerian, you will be laughing like, because to you it does not even make sense. Because somebody might be telling you that working, in my line of duty, I see people that tell you that if they do 4 shifts in a week, it's too much. And me, I'm like, you are doing 4 shifts in a week, it's too much. And if I do 5 shifts, I am complaining.
You don't feel satisfied.
Do you understand?
You want more.
So the thing is, the system, like what I said initially, the system we are coming from has messed us up so much that when we get into a new land, it takes us a longer time to adapt, and that is where the
My
pressure starts from.
sorry to cut in. My friend
Ah,
said, we are living hand to mouth here.
yeah,
Because if you don't work, as a matter of fact, you can't fall sick. There is nothing to back you up when you say you are not working.
absolutely
So it's
nothing.
more like it is you working and you surviving at the same time.
Yeah,
So you can see, and inflation, things are going on the high. Truth be told, because we come from a very messed up currency, and like most of our guys now are planning to go back home. They are working shift now. They are planning to go back home to go and say it is you. I want to come and marry. That's why I came back home and everything. So you're going to
yeah.
pile
So
up that pounds.
pile
You
up the
go,
paper.
yes, pile
But
up the paper.
Dimeji, let me hit you. Hold your thought. Hold your thought. You will come back
Yes.
to it. You talked about inflation. The truth is, the inflation here, for me, I don't know, it's just me. When inflation started, honestly, I didn't notice. Before now, I usually pay a return ticket to Glasgow by train was £3.80 from Paisley to Glasgow. £3.80 off peak. Then it was increased to £4.10. You know, I didn't notice the increment until after like a month. So when they shout inflation, 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 sometimes the inflation is actually not noticeable. I didn't notice it. I
Well,
didn't notice my train.
two
I didn't
things.
notice my fare had
You
gone up.
won't notice it
Hey,
because
two things,
notice.
two things are involved. Two things are
I
involved. I'm sorry, AJ. Two things are involved. We have according to the social strata, we are told that we have the upper class, middle class, and the lower class. But
True.
in that middle class, there's also social strata. There is the middle class that is
The
tilted
upper
towards
middle
up.
class.
Yes, and the
Yes,
one that's
there's the
tinted
middle
towards
class that is
down.
tilted towards down. It's because you are tilted towards up. You
Yeah.
have you have a job that is compared to some other guys that are making more like average, an average income. They are surviving on the normal income, the wage income that is being authorized. You are making way above that. So it's easier to say, oh, some way, somehow, you are comfortable. But there are some people
You are
that
not
their
getting
life,
me. Oh. It's not a matter of comfortability. It's a matter of, for example, in Nigeria. Let me give you an example. In Benin, I stayed in Benin a lot. In Benin, for a journey of like maybe from here to from Paisley to Glasgow by bus, averagely they charge you 200 naira. Let's do conversion in naira. They charge you 200 naira. When it's raining, the fare goes as high as 500 naira. It's noticeable once because of the gap. That's over 200%
Yeah.
increment. I'll be 100% increment thereabout. But you see the way inflation goes here and inflation goes back in Nigeria, there's totally different. You go to a store, maybe something they sell £5.99, it's gone to £6.99. That's £1. You might not even notice, or they say £5.99 is now gone to £6.20. It's only somebody who is really very very like an Igbo man who is very meticulous, like a teacher that measures yam and can measure the. Those are the people who will now notice those small additions. Ej, I don't know if you're
Yeah,
understanding
yeah,
me.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, it's real. Now, the reason why we don't pay so much attention to these little differences, like what you rightly said, is because this people, they are wise. They don't come off you with large percentage of increase. Like what you rightly said, you might go to the shop today and get something for 5.99, and by the time you are going back, you're getting it for 6.10. You being an average Nigerian, I mean, we're already used to that kind of life. You can wake up in the morning and you're buying bread for 200 naira in Nigeria. Go back to that same store by the evening. You can be getting that for like 300. But here, it's not like that. You might be buying something for 5.99 and the next time you're coming, it's like 6.10. So you look at it and be like, man, there's no much difference. I mean, what is 30 pence that I cannot afford? But this is what the Scottish, they are complaining about. You understand? Because most people live according to their means. Most people spend according to what they earn. So to an average black person here, that you are coming from a messed up economic system, that if we're going to experience inflation, it has to be in a larger percentage, and you're coming here, you're seeing a 30 pence or 20 pence increment or something, you will not feel it naturally. I don't know if I'm making sense. You will not feel it naturally compared to those who were born here, that they know that maybe prior to this time, if there's going to be an inflation, there's going to be some sort of announcement, or there's be some sort of newsletter telling people that the price of this has to go up with an explanation. That's how it is here. Unlike home,
yeah,
whereby you can just wake up in the morning and fuel price has skyrocketed,
yeah,
to
and
about
it's because
100%.
these people operate by strict regulation. So
Good.
it's more like, even when things are not good, are going sour, there is still a way. There are modalities and checks. Now,
Yeah.
my question I want to throw open is this: the global lens. Now, let's look at this inflation theory via the global lens of economic downturn versus what is coming from Africa. Because I can see that a lot of people indeed are now escaping, not migrating, are now escaping from
Escaping from
Africa.
Africa.
So
Sorry,
what's
before I cut you short, I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's true. I don't know how true it is, but I saw from somebody who is a travel agent. It was putting the number of people who have been granted student visas from Nigeria between 2000 and this year. In year 2000, it was around 8,000 people from Nigeria coming to the UK to study. In 2021, let me not just call figures from my head. I think I still have that because I had a screenshot, and I was really shocked when I saw the analysis. I was really shocked. In 2020, it was 8,229 number of student visas issued. In 2001, it was 36,783.
2021, sorry.
2021. While in 2022, this year alone, it's 65,929.
Well,
And
it's very possible.
right now, Nigeria has the highest percentage of students in the UK. We have 79% of students in the UK.
It's very
So,
possible.
so you see, when you talked about escaping, people are really escaping. People are really escaping. So we just
Yes.
And you see that number. That number is still going to go up. That number is still going to go up because everybody needs to escape. I mean, most of us we've spent 30 plus years in Nigeria with absolutely nothing to show for it. And then you come to the UK, even if you are doing a menial job that we will not do back home being a cleaner. I'm not trying to demean that profession, but back home we know the way we treat cleaners. Or like compared to here. But you coming over here and you're doing a cleaning job. Now there's a class in that kind of job because it can foot your bills to a large extent. So there's nobody you would tell that, man,
And
if you
aside
come,
from that, AJ,
yeah,
the way immigrants even, the way we think is more of, okay, fine, if I'm going to sacrifice myself, if I'm going to sacrifice my certificate, who I think I am, sacrifice it for the fact that I give my children a better chance at life, just being naturally by being citizen here, it's worth it. And it's the truth because there's high chances that that boy that I clean for will become the next Mbappe, will become the next Bukayo Saka,
I'm
will
already
become the
working on
next,
it.
no,
That's Project
will become the
Mbappe.
next AJ, Anthony Joshua. Is the truth. We need to, you see, but we need to also relate with our people to let them understand that this is not happily ever after.
No,
It's
that
not
that's
some Cinderella
that
story.
that that's it. Like I was telling you, I said I came here as I'm a professional cleaner. I said don't ever demean that profession called cleaning because when I came to Scotland, I respected the cleaning. The cleaning profession is a profession. We have an association
Solid.
and we have a president. I cleaned for almost a year. I was cleaning. There was no way I've not cleaned. There's no place I've not cleaned. And funny enough, as a cleaner, I called my friends because I worked in the bank. I called my friends who worked in the bank. I said, "Do you know this is my cleaning job? I earn more than your manager."
Of course, there was even a lady that came on Instagram Live. I watched this morning talking about the fact that she works as a cleaner at Libya. Let's even leave United Kingdom. She went to Libya, and she's earning close to 100,000 naira, equivalent to
to
naira,
Naira, you can imagine.
100,000 naira per month. And she is even saying that, when you face responsibility, because most of the things that shift a man to this stage are the responsibilities attached to a man, your kids, your family, your wife. It breaks a man to his bone marrow, to his spirit, to watch those you claim you love suffer. So these are the things that the economic situation in Africa and our leaders are not taking all these things seriously. And these are the things that are making us lose human capital.
True.
And you know the funny thing, they are to bounce back from every economy, there is the need for population. The UK
Yeah.
government know the risk. They are not stupid to be issuing a student visa out. Once they get to a threshold that is enough, they have the right to shut everything out that they don't want anymore. You need population to build economy, and we are losing our human capital because we won't give our people the chance to express in the right dimension. We are favored, we have nepotism, we have tribalism, we have all sentiment. Just look at us. We are one of the finest brains in Africa, but we are here in diaspora.
Yeah.
And couple of years to come, God, okay, look at K and I now. If we have an opportunity and we shoot higher and BBC and that is it, boom. Nigeria will come and say, oh, these are our people homegrown. And we are not homegrown.
I will deny
But
them.
and no, that's the
I was
truth.
not groomed at home.
That's the truth. You see, when you were talking about responsibility. Okay, let me just say something. You know, I saw a news flash. The Australian government is actually cutting down the students' work permit because if you go to Australia, you have 40 hours per week. That's more like unlimited hours to work. They said by June 2023, they are reverting back to 20 hours. Now, I'm bringing this up because of what you said about the UK government. They are not fools to allow you come with a dependent. See, these people, they are people that know what they are doing. So that's why I say to every Nigerian, if you have the opportunity, come over because they will always give you a visa because they know what you bring to the table as an average Nigerians.
K,
We are
K,
smart.
K.
We are, yeah.
Okay, let me chip this in. Do you know that before these people, even the citizens here, are entitled to benefit,
Yeah.
working or without working? But now, do you know why these people are working? Because now, before you can be entitled to any benefit, you must be working.
You must,
So
yes, you must
now
have.
you see them in care homes and everything. They pick up shit. They don't even mind working 2 days in a week or one day, just because they want to work. And you know
And
what
get
the
their
UK government
benefits.
needs? Your NI, you must be a plus to the economy.
Yeah.
But
Good.
their working rate is not even still helping the economy, and that's why they need more
They need more
population to
people.
come.
So what I'm going to, I want to react to two things. I'll start from you, AG. You
Yeah.
said you talked about you advising all anybody from Nigeria who has the means and the ability to come. What happened to making Nigeria great again?
Well, it's something that we all know. I mean, if Nigeria is if Ni- we Nigeria as a nation has all it takes to be great. We have the right brains, we have the right workforce. I mean, Nigerians are naturally willing to work, but you cannot do much because of the messed up government system we have. If Nigeria today starts to do well, I tell you, a large percent of people that are in the UK or in diaspora will go back home.
Will you go back?
AJ,
Me
AJ,
personally, see, hold on, me personally, I say it, I'm not saying it because I'm on air or something. If Nigeria starts to do well, I'll go back home. There's not
K,
flexing no day here now.
K,
Yeah, you are
K,
just
your
coming,
question.
it's just walk
K,
as fast.
Okay, your question. Me
Yeah.
personally, I would love to redirect that question to the number one citizen of our country
Yeah.
who promised to make Nigeria great.
Who is the number one
Sir,
citizen of our country?
yes,
Who is the
President
number one
Mohammed
citizen?
Buhari.
I don't have a
President Mohammed Buhari.
president.
No,
Buhari,
sir.
Buhari is a
Why did your
figurehead.
children? Why did your children graduate in UK that we are now
And you
and
want to
not
make Nigeria
in
great again?
Nigeria? So what is happening to Project Nigeria in your hand? What number am I? I'm not even number 005, 00 whatever. The
Dimeji,
001, the
Dimeji,
current 001, the children didn't even school in Nigeria. So
Dimeji.
man,
If what the topic of Nigeria is a topic we'll talk
We
about
can't finish.
extensively another day. So we just then one before we go on break. I like to hit this thing. You said something, and I like to react to. You talked about a lot of British citizens going for benefits and all. I was in the vehicle with a cabman one day, and he said something. He said he complained about he's Irish though, so he complained about a lot of lazy British citizens who don't work, who just depend on benefits and everything. And he said he doesn't blame them. They are following by example. They're following their number one mentor. And I was like, who's the number one mentor?
the
And he said
queen.
the royal family. They don't work, they don't do jack, but they get paid and they get all the benefits. So when you look at when the number one people don't get, they don't work and they get paid, everybody wants to be like them. So in case you're just joining us, it's 3,000 miles and it's Jambo Radio, Scotland, and this is one of the hottest radio stations, hottest Afro-Caribbean radio stations on the south side, on the east side, on the west coast, the north coast of the UK. And you can actually follow us on all our social medias if you want to listen to us. Follow us on all our social media handles from Facebook to Twitter to YouTube. And actually, we're on smart speakers where you can actually listen to Jambo Radio Live. And also, you can listen to us on our website, www.jamboradioscotland. So all our listeners out there, big shout out to you guys for following us and keeping it real with us. We really appreciate you guys. You guys are really MVPs. In case you're just joining us, is still 3,000 miles, one of your favorite radio programs on Jambo Radio, and Jambo Radio is one of the biggest, the baddest, the hottest radio stations, and we're actually on smart speakers. You can listen to Jambo Radio on smart speakers. You can listen to us on our website at www.jamboradioscotland and follow us on all our social media platforms. So we're talking about a topic. We're talking about the digital of inflation and the cost of living for immigrants, and we've been really looking at this topic. Myself, AJ, and Dimeji has really been really hot. So let's take it to another direction right now, because before the break we talked about the inflation, rise in price, and everything. Now let's look at it in comparison to African entrepreneurs here in the UK, because we notice that there's rise, but you see the African shops, the inflation keeps going up so fast. Um, Sometime in February, I usually go. There's an African shop I go to buy food in a restaurant. I bought food from the restaurant. I know I usually buy their food for about 12, 11, 12 pounds and everything. And at that time, it just flew to 18 pounds. I was like, this is so high. Why? I got things are getting high. And everything. And I'm like, this is just the Nigerian, this is just the Nigerian attitude. EJ, what do you think? What do you think about it?
You see, when it comes to inflation, we as Nigerians, we are. I don't want to say we are naturally reapers. I don't want to use that word because we like to take advantage of situations, and that is where has gotten our nation to where it is today. Because a clear example, when we're talking about a bus ticket, you said you used to buy a bus ticket from Paisley to Glasgow for about £30, 80 pence.
£3, 80
Yeah,
pence.
sorry, £3, 80 pence, and then it moved up to £4, 10 pence. But if you take that same scenario and put it in a Nigerian setting, it is going to go in 100%. So instead of £3, 80 pence, it's going to go to like £7. So this is more like an individualistic problem because it really has nothing to do with the term inflation. We just like taking advantage of situations to put ourselves in a more compromising position. So when it comes to issues that has to do with Nigerian, one really has to think carefully because when we talk about our problems, I'm aware the government is not doing so well. I mean, our system is still fucked up. But individually, most of us, we've gone to school. We've been able to mix with people. I mean, some of us came here for a better exposure to see life for what it truly is. But ask yourself, how many things have we really learned? How many things are we willing to do away with? But rather than learning things to make you a better person so you can go back home and impact the nation, we are rather looking for ways to make life more unbearable for ourselves. So I think it is more of an individualistic problem than a general problem when it comes to inflation with Nigerians.
No, the thing is, I look at it from an angle of being selfish. Honestly,
That's it.
It's being selfish because you go to the African stores and you see stuff they sell. Their price increases so crazy.
Have you noticed that prices never goes down in African shops?
Yeah,
Real check.
Yeah.
You can never
Now,
go to an African store. It never goes down.
AJ, I want to take the bull by the horn by what you just said now.
Yeah.
Has there ever been downsizing in prices in the UK? I think you've been here for a while. What I mean is, let's say there was a time things went sour and it was so bad, everything went south and things went on high stake. So the government were able to regulate things and things are getting back to normal. Has there ever been downsizes in prices of things?
from if I'll jump on that, I'll say from where I'm standing, from my little understanding, I noticed that there are some things they do even though they don't do downsizing per se. There are a lot of discounted prices. You understand? There's not that widespread downsizing of goods and services, but you notice there are a lot of discounted prices on some goods. You see it. You go to Lidl and they tell you this thing was 15, but it's now going for 12, going in 2 hours, and you see that downside. You see that price going down. But in Nigeria, have you ever seen that anything in Nigeria was 500? They say this thing is now 300 or 400.
Even if you try to buy that, you won't trust it because it's expired.
So the funny thing is, even if it's expired, even if it expired, it's so annoying that you see the average Nigerian is so wicked. Even if it's expired, or even if it's expiring, they sell it at the same price.
The same price.
But here in the UK, goods that are expiring in 1 month, in 2 weeks, or perishable goods that are expiring in 3, 4, 5 days, they slash the price. They slash the prices.
Let me cut in K and AJ. I studied a book and uh, quite a lot of things, but there's one I want to. It's called the Mafia, and the Mafia made us know that their global culture of doing business. So there is the way you go to a Chinese, what the Chinese expect.
Yeah.
Like the Russians, the price you call for the Russians does not change. Moment you start changing price, Russians don't trust you. It might even lead to a bloodbath. There are some Americans you can still dialogue and say, "Oh, I want to buy this skyscraper. Is this and this?" You guys sit down, look at the pros and cons. But now, do we do we have that global culture? That's the question. And we see that our own people who have these businesses, mega businesses, corporate organizations like Tony Elemelu, like Dangote, those people that are head of their operations, they are not even trusted Nigerians. They were not trusted. And if they were Nigerians part of the head operations, we know that strategically there are some foreigners that are known for that global culture, like the Indians and whatever, that are put in some strategic positions. So here comes where AJ was right and you are right about selfishness, about what we display sometimes, which we need to change. It doesn't send the right signals about us. So
Oh,
what baffles me a lot about Nigerians is that we think we are smart and we really want to outsmart others. And that is just more of a villainous thought because some people bring a win-win to the table. You don't bring a win-win to the table. Is that you win, you don't even care if other lose. And people, you destroy good relationships through such an attitude, which we need to speak to ourselves as Nigerians. Look at the African market right now. My wife know there are some particular things she doesn't even want to go and buy in African store at all because it is ridiculously on the high side compared to what
Honestly,
it is.
let me
And
cut you. Let me cut you there.
it's just ridiculous.
Do you know the normal sugar, the normal granulated sugar in the pack that they don't even buy from Nigeria? You cannot tell me you're importing that. It's here because we know the pack. In the
Yeah,
African shops, you get them for £1.80, £2 in the African shops. But in normal supermarkets, they are £1. I'm like, at least not the same thing because the African want to make an opportunity, not just the African, the Nigerian want to make an opportunity of everything. They see every situation, every crisis as an
as
opportunity
an avenue
to
to
make
outsmart you.
more money. Baron was talking just now, and it's true. You see Africans here, they get council houses. Council houses are really cheap. Somebody can get you can get a two-bedroom for a council house for £300 or £350 a month.
Oh, okay. This topic you want to open is
And
deep.
then no, let me land.
Yes, continue.
You get you
Very
get
deep.
you get it for 300 350, and then an African will say, I want to rent out one room, and you're renting one room for 350, and you got the whole house for 350, and at the end of the day, you have a two-room apartment. You even rent the sitting room.
Of course.
You rent out the
Of
sitting
course.
room. So at the end of the day, a house you are paying 350, you are earning, you are getting rent for about 700, and the people are
Look,
paying the
AJ,
bills and everything. It's
yeah,
crazy.
I
AJ,
can hear you.
I want to
Yeah.
put you on the spot right now. I want to put you on the spot. Be
All
very,
right.
very sincere with me. We meet nice people, we meet terrible people. But
Sure.
when you meet an extraordinarily nice Nigerian, how do you feel? Don't you double check if this person is really is true or you are in danger of some words? And when you see that the coast is clear, you now feel like, oh, I can throw myself open to this person because everything a black person, most especially Nigerians, do for you has an intention.
You spot on.
Am I lying?
Spot on. Spot on. Because see, you see, like what I said, that we Nigerians, we are our problem. First of all, we have trust issues, and I can want to be defensive and put it on the system where we are coming from. I mean, it's so messed up, and it has messed us up in so many ways. But then, like what I said initially, you coming over here, it's more like a new start. You're trying to start afresh, but you discover that some of us are still so broken that we don't want to accept reality for what it is. I mean, how can you get a property? I mean, this is real. This is happening every day. You get a property shift so cheap, and you want to make money off it, and you make the person you are renting that property off to, you make them feel like you are doing them a favor, whereby in reality,
100%.
you are actually, like I said, you're actually reaping
Milking
such
them.
pet.
You're
It
milking them.
doesn't make
Okay.
any sense. It doesn't make any
Okay,
sense.
something happened recently. A family came, landed in Nigeria. I don't know them. And they came to check my house and the house I left in Scotland and everything. But Well, my landlady was not ready to rent a house because the apartment would not befit a couple with 3 kids.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Aye.
So I felt like, okay, fine. You know what? I still have just 1 month or two, according to my contract. Then I told them the exact
Amount.
money amount I rented the space because I don't want to make a dime out of them. That is one. Two, when they landed, I'm very sure some Nigerians might have been whispering to them, Cleveland. Someone came. Someone I didn't even tell anything because I was so, when you are so free and you are open and you're truthful, you don't need to start telling someone to watch what they say in front of them. So the person
Yeah.
just said it carelessly that, oh, this is the amount you rented the space now and everything. And I could see the couple looked at themselves because it was the same. So I pointed their attention back. That can you see that
Yeah.
the man of God here said this is the amount I rented this space, and they were like, they didn't believe it. I said, I don't need your dime. It's just the truth. I don't because you call poverty upon yourself if you act like one, like a poor
Yeah.
person.
True. True.
That is one thing I didn't even benefit. If I want to continue the cycle of what I experienced when I got here, Jesus Christ.
Let me let
I
me
I, I
let me tell you what I experienced when I got here. I got a small. It was a single room. It was a single room. The guy I got the single room from, he told me the room was 250 per month. In essence, the room was 230, but he didn't tell me it was 230. He said 250. So I got in. He was the person who was moving out. So the night I got in, I moved my things in, and he said, "Okay, bring money." He said rent 250. He said then I need to pay agent fee, £100. Me, I'm like, I said, did they pay agent fee for abroad? That was the first thing I said. Did they pay agent fee for abroad? He said yes, so agent fee £100. So I gave him. Then there was a carpet on the floor. He said the carpet, I'll pay £20 for the carpet. Me being a JGC, I don't know. I paid. I gave him £100. Gave him the 250. Gave him, so at the end of the day, I gave him about £380 thereabout, and he left. I had not seen the landlord because I was the one moving out. Do you know? It was later realized that the rent was 230 and not 250. After I paid for 2 months through him, and I didn't realize that there was no need. They don't pay agent fee. There was no need for an agent fee, which he claimed to. He collected £100 from me. When I knew all these things from me, I looked at him. I was like, the question I asked myself was, has this money made you better? Do you
and the
know?
truth is, and the truth is, they never look like what they are aspiring to be. These are set of people that you still look at them. They struggle, they lack, and they call poverty upon themselves. I've seen many
And
that
at that
they
point,
claim
he look like he was doing, like AJ said,
was
they
doing
make
you a
it look
favor.
like they were
Yes,
doing you a favor.
yes.
And me, I was always thanking him. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, I appreciate all this. But the fact that he was ripping me, oh, I quite rip out
You
five
see,
percent.
you see one thing I always say to people, if you look carefully, if somebody who lives, let me say, a little bit more than the average in Nigeria, if they come over to the UK, there are certain ways they behave. I mean, somebody who is not necessarily struggling back home. When they come in, there are certain ways they behave compared to somebody who's broke coming here.
Or who has this poverty mentality?
God bless you, or
This
poverty.
poverty mentality.
They think riches is by getting money by all means. I say it to my
Exploiting people.
friends. K is my friend. I tell him a lot. I said, Baba, there are certain things I can't do, not because I am in the UK, but because even back home I wouldn't even do it. Do you understand? Even back home in Nigeria, I wouldn't even. I'm not saying I'm rich or I'm super blessed, but there's a mentality I work with, and there's a level I believe you get to life in, and there are certain things you should not be doing. I mean, how can you get a property, or how can you see your fellow Nigerian? All of us in our hustle, everybody call your hustle.
Yes,
Forget the
now I
school,
said
forget any
you
story.
enter with three pikin.
Everybody
You enter
know
with three pikin.
everybody knows that we came here to hustle before behind anything we are trying to showcase to anybody. So why would you want to make life? I mean, look at what Kay said. You took an extra 120. Okay, the 120 pound now. Which use did he add anything to your life?
And the truth is, he has lost a very. That's where I was going. He has lost a very solid relationship with K. Now, K is balanced. No, K has spent some time here. K don't find a way.
Sure.
You've lost a very valuable relationship with him, and you've created a very bad impression about who you are.
That's the
As a matter of
truth.
fact, that is who you are, and that is where we Nigerians we keep going. We keep meeting people. We keep destroying such valuable relationship, and we keep meeting new people. Whereas you might have met someone who you don't even really need to say, oh, someone who would even help you in the future. I'll give you an example. I know a man of God who says he came to this place to do his master's or his PhD, so he was using his money to help. Other people were advising him, Baba, I'm talking about Dr. Dike Olukoya. Why will you be giving people money out? People who come who don't have money, and don't they didn't they plan their life in Nigeria or whatever? They were saving their money to come back to Nigeria to come and buy Benz. Someone valued
Yeah.
life, invested in people than material things. Boom. 10 years later, 5 years later, he was giving testimony that one of the guys that he used to help owns this Colgate, this famous Colgate toothpaste. He was the owner of the
Oh.
recipe and calculate. He came down and said, Baba, waiting you want. That is what we talk about investing in humanity. You don't know where anybody will get to. And aside from that, it is a very, very stupid culture for us to feel like everything is an opportunity. And that's what we brought even to relationship when we
You
talk
see,
about
you
affectionate
see,
relationship.
Dimeji, you
Because I
see,
see you are vulnerable with me. I want to take advantage of you. And that is it.
let
Nigerians
me
always
cut you
take
there.
advantage.
You see, Dimeji, Nigerians, we don't respect relationship. And one thing I know, the first thing I noticed when I got to the UK was information is power. And how do you get information? Through relationships.
Yeah.
Most Nigeria will come here with the I don't care mentality, because back home, truly, I mean, who cares? Any IB, we will find our way. Everybody fine. But here, it is different. So if you are a smart person, you should be careful of relationships, because I might not be needing you today, but in this UK, we all need everybody to survive, because
Don't even
there
go
might,
too far.
there might
3,000
be
miles. 3,000 miles that you are seated on is a product of relationship. This
good.
my guy here. If we have not gotten a very smooth relationship back then in campus, I
Yeah,
wouldn't have vouched. Now you see, I'm in Belfast. Imagine
good.
I had snatched his idea away, and I'm the one running 3,000 miles now. Will it be so easier for me to call K and say, K, I know I stole your idea, whatever. Can you go and continue where I stopped at? Very stupid. But when I
Very.
saw the opportunity, I was like, let me put my guy on, because he also put me on. When you see, you have a very valid point. I'm just stressing 3,000 miles that you are
Yeah.
rightly sitting is a product of valuable relationship, and that is
So,
what Nigerians need to
so,
get
so,
stick to
so,
their head.
bringing it back to the information, because we don't have time. We're almost wrapping up. I like to just throw this final thought. Let's bounce this thought around while we will wrap up. What do you think is the way forward? Because right now, at this point in time, Nigerians are very comfortable with the rising costs. We are not shaking because we feel
We don't even care.
we don't care right now. But let's be
I
honest
think
with
we are the only
ourselves.
one balling. We are the only one balling in a
I
place
want to
where
be a
everybody is
baller.
balling.
I don't want to be a mechanic. So, but the thing is, if we get to a point where it's going to hit us, let's be honest, the way things are going, if things are not rectified, because honestly, I've been listening to the news, the removal of cap. I hear what I hear is the removal of tax cap. They put tax cap. They wear the tax cap. They remove the face cap. They wear agbada. I just hear different terminologies. I'm not an economist or financialist. But do you think if the economy is going like this, do you think if you get to a point where it's going to hit us, will it get as bad as the case as Nigeria? Do you think so?
No, it won't. It will not. It will never get. It will never get to that point. Why? I mean, like what I said, we are coming from a system that doesn't work. You understand? So everything we're actually meeting here is actually strange to us, because you hearing. How many of us actually care about taxes? How many of us actually care?
Have you ever paid
we,
tax
we,
in your life?
all we are concerned, because see, naturally Nigerians are contented people. Naturally, if you meet an average Nigerian, we're always, the little we get, we know how to make life, we know how to make life around it. It's just for the few exceptions, those greedy people that always want to make extra. If not, an average Nigerian, we don't have problem. The tax, how many times tax is all right? Only this year. It keeps going up. We keep hearing stories about taxes, but in reality check, we don't really feel it, because where we are coming from, we are not used to tax skinning. Who knows about taxes back home? So to answer your question, I don't think because of who we are, because of the survivor mentalities we have, I don't think it's really going to have that much effect on us as against those who were born here.
Oh, Dimeji, do you think that's an advantage or a disadvantage?
I will just warn everybody because my people will say there's a proverb in Yoruba. I will just say it in pidgin. Say battle where they don't talk about they kill Ogun I will tell like in paro. Waiting be arrow for pidgin. Cripple. Battle where they don't talk about they kill cripple. Now I think it's time for us now to go back to our drawing board, go back to our savings, go back to our cutting cost of living, go back to excesses and things that are irrelevant. That as it is, the working culture as well. You need to. This is to people that are just coming in. You need to brace up. You go work. Oh, forget I'm cold. You go work. UK. Nobody wants to hear your super story.
It's
You
a
go
topic for
work.
another day. It's a
You
topic for another
understand?
day.
And the cost of living. There is no story about landlord. I will beg my landlord. Your landlord you go sleep under snow. So this is a matter of you just
Landlord, I will give you.
you
Let me tell you what happened to me recently. I pay my rent every 17th. I pay my rent every 17th. So when 17th came, I didn't pay because it was a bank holiday. So I said, okay, let me just delay it till the weekend. Do you know the house agent called me like after 2 days? We're actually hello, please, we haven't received your rent for this month. Are you experiencing any financial issues? Let us know so we know what we can do going forward. I was like, oh guys, just 2 days. It's not like it's not a
take
month.
time.
It's just
Because
2 days.
your landlord said if day holiday, bank holiday, you don't spoil the holiday.
Bring money. So the thing is, I like to do a quick disclaimer because with the whole rise in inflation and everything and rise in tax cost of living, the governments are actually coming out with a lot of
Schemes.
incentive schemes. First thing I need to advise, as someone on a student visa, don't accept those schemes. Do not accept it because it will affect your it can affect your visa. Because I've seen people who got I saw somebody who just got rejected. His graduate visa got rejected because he already assessed assessed public funds. So please, when you see those offers, do not accept them because it's going to affect you and your visa route. Then two, those of you who have the normal visa route, there are a lot of scammers out there who take advantage of these things. A couple of days ago, my wife received a message telling her that she qualified for the 400 gas bill discount the government was going to give. And to be honest with you, I clicked the link. The site was well cloned. If it was like the government site, exactly. So it was after I got information that I saw information that said the government they are not even going to even send anybody to register. It's going to be automatic. So please, we should just be very careful.
Yeah.
Because with the rise in cost of living, a lot of scammers are out there, and we should be careful of the things we assess. Well, at this time, it's so unfortunate we have to go. We've said a lot. We've had a lot of discussion, and we had a wonderful guest in the studio, AJ. Thank you very much.
Cheers,
You've
mate.
been really helpful.
Mr. AJ.
Yeah.
Cheers, mate.
I like to thank my producer, the beautiful. You need to see her. One day you will see her, Sha. For those of you who watch on YouTube, one day you see her, the
It's
beautiful.
stunning. She's actually stunning.
We always saying the beautiful. We never see her face. The beautiful Zainab. Thank you very much.
She's
She's-
producing us online
she's
and
here.
offline.
Offline production.
She's here. She's doing like this.
And also DJ Baron, who's also helping us run the
DJ
program.
Baron,
Thank you
scratch
very much. From me, it's K from Dimeji. Have a wonderful week and peace be unto you.
Aye, mate.